This is big breaking news. Starting February 1st, we are going to see big changes to our economy and the global supply chain. This comes as Trump just made a major announcement. Let's get into all the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting every single day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news, and it just helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So, Trump just announced that 3 countries are going to be affected by this: China, Mexico, and Canada. He announced that tariffs are going to be put in place starting February 1st. He just made this announcement yesterday for Mexico and Canada, and then just today on Tuesday, he added China to this list as well too. That's going to happen on February 1st. There's also been talks of creations of the quote external revenue service instead of the internal revenue service to collect these tariffs as well too. And this is potentially going to be used as a mechanism to lower taxes domestically, right? That is what's happening, the talks behind the scenes. I want you to listen to Trump really quick make this announcement, and then we will play the response of the Canadian Prime Minister, right? He responded to these tariffs, and Trump also today just announced tariffs on China as well too, and we will get to the goods and things that could potentially be affected. But listen to Trump really quick.
We're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
Are you planning on giving notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st.
25% on both, sir?
Sir, on each.
Yeah.
All right, so you heard that. He made this announcement yesterday when he was signing some of these executive orders. He said starting February 1st, we are most likely going to see a 25% tariff each on Canada and Mexico. It was also announced just today, that a 10% tariff could go in place against China. Trump said, quote, "We're talking about a tariff of 10% on China based on the fact that they're sending fentanyl to Mexico and Canada," the president said, speaking to reporters at the White House Tuesday evening. He said, quote, "Probably February 1st is the date we are looking at." So he keeps saying that's the date, and that's the number for China. And I want you to listen to this rebuttal from the Canadian Prime Minister, and then we will get into some of the items that will potentially be affected from each country. This is what Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said earlier today in response to Trump's threat of tariffs. Listen to this really quick.
President Trump said that he wants to usher in a golden age for the United States. That will require more steel and aluminum, more critical minerals, more reliable and affordable energy, more of everything to run the U.S. economy full steam ahead. Canada has all those resources. The alternative for them would be more resources from Russia, China, or Venezuela. Canada is a safe, secure, and reliable partner in an uncertain world.
All right, so that's what Justin Trudeau said. But something that's going on behind the scenes as well, too, is Trump has unleashed the oil production inside the United States. So that's definitely going to be something that's a lot less needed from the Canadians, is their oil and natural gas, because we have capabilities here and Trump is deregulating that sector right now. He signed multiple executive orders to allow more drilling. So that could potentially make up for it. And the point of these tariffs is to put pressure on companies to hire Americans domestically at home and to produce factories and companies domestically at home too, because what's been happening for decades now is that they've been outsourcing. All right, just a few months ago, Ford was going to build a massive factory in Mexico, and they got word of Trump saying these tariffs are going to go into effect, and they put a halt on the production facility in Mexico. Ford did, okay, because that's what's been going on for decades. They outsource American companies and American jobs and American manufacturing to other countries because they can hire labor for much cheaper than they could hire Americans, right? So those jobs should be going to Americans, and it's supposed to put pressure on them to build here and do things here so you're not subjected to this tariff anymore. That's the theory, at least, right? And here are some of the things that could potentially be affected from this as well too. From Mexico, automotive parts could be subjected to these tariffs because, like I was saying, a lot of these manufacturing factories for these car parts and materials have been exported to countries like Mexico, and now they just produce it here and then sell it to the US at higher prices, bring it back to the US and sell it here, and use the cheaper labor and production costs in other countries. Fruits and vegetables could be affected as well too, right? Higher prices on a lot of your summer things like tomatoes, avocados, peppers, berries, cucumbers, things like that. Your summer vegetables that you're getting in the winter months, a lot of that stuff is coming from Mexico or California, right? Alcohol could be affected. It's saying brands like Modelo, Corona, tequila, medical equipment of various types, and gasoline potentially could be affected as well. But that's also another thing where the US is ramping up production on that. Canada, crude oil and natural gas, they are one of our biggest importers, but we are also producing a lot of ourselves, and we are actually the largest crude oil producers in the world now. The United States is. And it says here agricultural products like meat, fish, wheat, oats, and barley could be affected from Canada. Lumber and wood products could be affected. Definitely, they have a lot of lumber imports into the US. Automotive parts, similar to Mexico, impacting car manufacturing costs. Aluminum and steel could be affected as well too, coming in from Canada. Prices could potentially rise. And China, electronics, cell phones, household appliances, TVs, video games, all that stuff could be affected. Machinery, industrial machinery parts, and a lot of the die-cast aluminum parts and metal parts that are sent over here and then assembled inside the US, those could be affected. Plastics as well too from China could be affected. Toys, games, sports equipment, and also furniture that is sourced from China. You know how it is. Every little random thing in certain stores are sourced from China, right? So all those products are going to be affected and potentially have up to a 10% price increase. So let me know what you guys think down below. Please just hit it up for me down there. It helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that, so people know what's coming, right? This is only 9 days away now. These tariffs are going to be implemented. So if you do want to buy some of these things, you didn't get it for Christmas, and you want to stock up on some of these items, maybe get them now before these tariffs go into place so you are not affected. You don't have to pay higher prices. But hopefully in the long run, prices will come back to a more equilibrium and normal price, and there will also be more American jobs as well too, more people in the community having these jobs at these manufacturing and factories and things like this, and they'll have more money to spend in their communities too to help boost the economy even more, right? So that's the theory behind here. Hopefully it works. I will keep you guys updated. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying prepared out there. I hope you have big blessings for your life and your family and I hope you have a big old blessed day.